Hello everyone, this is Mr. Fung with week 3 bass lesson. In this week's lesson we will begin to read and pluck through the G notes and the E string, our lowest sounding string, not C. In addition to reading these two strings, we'll be exploring the bow hold and simple bow motions. But first, let's look at the notes. On page 16 of our All for Strings book, we'll see up here at the top, the blue box, the G string note. You'll see that the note is in the top space right below the top line. Each time we see the note head here, we'll recognize it as the G. We'll go to the string farthest from our thumb, the highest string on the bass, and we will pluck G. Coming down to the bottom of our page, we'll see the E string note. Now in example 17 it reads C and E string only because the viola and the cellos will have the C string note, and if they were to practice with us we will hear C and E string at the same time. But for us here in bass, we will be playing the E string notes only. The E string note is all the way below the 5 staff lines. Because it's below the 5 staff lines, we will draw one ledger line here to show more spaces down below the staff line. And the note E kind of looks like the planet Saturn, with the bubble and the line through the bubble. So this is the E note. Each time we see this, we will pluck or play the lowest string on the bass. The string closest to the thumb, our E string. On to the second part of our lesson, the bow hold. Now, the bass is quite unique because there are two different styles of bow. There's what we call the French bow, which is the one we are using, and then there's the German bow, which has a much larger frog down here that extends so that you can put two of the fingers sort of inwards of the frog, but we will stick strictly to the French bowing this year. And this is the frog part of the bow, and this is the stick part of the bow. With 3 simple steps, we will create the bow hold for the bass. And firstly, I have to describe holding on to a cup, where all of our fingers are bent. We want to keep the fingers bent because this is the most natural position of our fingers. If we were to let the hand rest on the side of our bodies, totally relaxed, you'll see that none of the fingers are exactly straight. The fingers must be kept bent. If the fingers straighten out, we tend to squeeze, and if we squeeze, we'll get tired, and in fact, we'll injure our own hands. So we have to stay relaxed with our fingers bent. Firstly, with our left hand, we'll hang on to the bow, so we can hover the bow and easily put the fingers on step by step. Our first step, bent thumb, put the thumb underneath the bow grip right in the middle. Bent thumb underneath the bow grip. Now keeping the thumb there, second step, we're going to put all 4 of our fingers over the stick. You'll notice that the pinky and the pointer finger are not as far over as the middle finger or the ring finger. It may look a little bit straight, but then again my fingers are still bent. Not totally curled, but still bent. And here almost the middle finger and the ring finger are kind of touching the bow hair because of the reach. So step 2, 4 fingers over the stick, completely over the stick. Still keeping the thumb bent here. And step 3, most importantly of it all, relax. This stick is a very light stick. We don't have to squeeze, and if we start to squeeze, we will get tired here in our fingers. Keeping the fingers bent. Even the thumb. So let's go through the 3 steps together. We're going to form a cup, so we bend all of our fingers. Pretend we're holding on to a cup. Bend the thumb, put the thumb underneath the bow grip. Step 2, all four fingers over the stick, flowing over, not on the tip, flowing over. Step 3, relax. And we are normally playing the bass standing up. And so you'll notice that the arm will extend out and further down a bit more. And we will normally bend mainly in the wrist and the elbow, but sometimes the shoulder will help bring the elbow out. But only when we come out to a certain point will the shoulder stop moving, and the elbow will continue to bring the bass bow further out. And we want to continue to bend the shoulder, wrist, and the elbow so that nothing stays straight and we won't get too tight or tense in any of our positions. So we're going to draw the bow horizontal from left to right, and pretending my four fingers are the bass strings. We'll go from the frog to the tip, which is a down bow, and we're going to bring the bow completely horizontal sideways, and then up bow. You'll notice that my wrist, my elbow, and my shoulder are moving. My fingers are still bent here. Down bow from the frog to the tip, and up bow from the tip to the frog. Simple motions, relax, breathe. Remember how light the stick really is. That is our lesson for this week. If you ever have any questions, you can always go back to the book. We've written down the directions on how to hold the bow on our music folders, but on page 4 of the book, you'll find the French bow hold style. Happy practicing.